What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. It's your boy, Sirr Love, and I got an exciting episode for you guys. I got my man, Brandman Sean, on the show today.
What's up, everybody?
Yes, this dude is a beast when it comes to marketing, and he builds a lot of great teams, and I want to make sure that he gives you guys his insight and knowledge on how to do that. I told you guys before that I was getting ready to introduce you guys to a student of the game, and remember, I mentioned that student of the game is probably my best video. It's something that everyone should watch, even though it's slept on. This guy is that. Let's get to the show, guys. Another question that someone submitted for you is, how do you communicate to an individual? If once you've identified, okay, this is the person, because you've already stated that, you know, if there were steps, part of that process would be identifying people that are already moving, in that space that can see value in what you're doing. You've already kind of pointed that out, but when you've identified this person, what is the pitch? How do you best communicate with this individual to get them to say yes? What do you need to say?
Right. So a huge part about this is really empathy. So empathy is really your ability to see from somebody else's perspective, right? Set foot in somebody else's shoes. And a lot of artists have a problem with that. It's because it's very egocentric when you're working on your art. But if you could get yourself to step outside of your own self and see whatever that other person needs. Hey, I'm an artist. This person's in PR. This person's a photographer. And these people primarily move in the creative space. So obviously they want to move upstream. Then you have to figure out a way to make yourself look like somebody who can help them move upstream. Whatever value you have to them, those PR people are looking for artists that they can cover, right? Photographers are looking to be associated with an artist that they can get more business off of. If I say I'm Chance the Rapper's photographer, then, that's a plug where now all of a sudden my status goes up, which means I'm charging more money. Like Future's engineer charges more money. Young Thug's engineer can charge more money. It's going to bring you new business. So if you can look like a product that's going to be something that's actually something one day that really has that potential, then in your eyes, you'll look like you have that value. In their eyes, you'll present that value from them.
Makes sense. Now it makes a lot of sense. And one thing that I want to do is, so the questions that I've asked so far have been questions that have been word of mouth to me. I told people I'm getting ready to do this show.
Right.
They say, can you ask these things? But there's some questions that you guys have asked, and so we're going to pop those things on the screen, and I'm going to pull out my phone and read them, okay? Act Right sent 2 questions. One of the questions is, what is the best way to motivate your team when they are lazy and lack the drive to get out and work? Boy, that's a good one.
Whew.
Act Right, you hit the nail on the head with that one.
All right, so there's 2 ways of looking at that.
Okay.
Was the team driven at one point, and then for whatever reason, you guys got off base, and now they're lazy and things just aren't moving? So if you want to get that, you have to remind everybody of what the vision is. You want to make sure that people still do want the same things, and maybe this might be a breaking point in the path. If maybe they need to get off the team. There's a lot of teams. If you look at any kind of company, which is what you're essentially working on as an artist, building some sort of company with you at the center of it, they don't usually have all the employees at the end or when they super blow up that they did at the beginning. In the artist realm, likely a lot of times you might have the same manager, or, at least that manager will take you up to a certain level of winning, then you might switch managers. But if certain people, they can't afford to not be motivated. If your manager isn't motivated, then you need a new manager, right? Hopefully you're not under some kind of contract, because a lot of artists have been stuck in that. There's too many photographers out here to be working with a not motivated photographer, right? Or and some roles are just a lot more replaceable. If they're your friends, hopefully you want to get them involved and get that motivation back in them. But after you remind people what the vision is, and it seems like if they still seem like they want something along those lines and they aren't motivated, then it's just going to have to be a cut, or at least cut for now, and figure out how to move on without.
No, I 100% agree. I've been in circumstances where I've worked with individuals that would fall in this category of being lazy. And if typically for me, it just doesn't work. You got to go. You got to go. Or I got to go. Like this situation is going to work. I see that as a manager, I've seen a lot with artists, and I've also worked in the operation space, marketing space. And when the artist is lazy, then there's no point in me being a part of that process anymore.
For real.
But once you get to when you're looking at your team itself, if there's someone on your team, I do agree with you. It's all about the vision. You have to be able to sell and articulate your vision very, very well. And you have to be passionate about it so that other individuals will also want to be a part of that. Okay.
Right.
Also, there has to be movement. People get lazy when there's no movement.
Yes.
You can't be stagnant in your growth. Yep. So if you're lazy and you're not doing what you need to do to keep the progress going, then you're going to get stagnant, and then people are going to get lazy. They're going to follow your lead. Also, even if they're not getting stagnant and they're motivated and they're looking at you and you're stagnant, they're going to leave you. So it's just a mix of lead by example. And it's also a portion of getting rid of people when they don't need to be there. It's selling people the vision so they can make sure that that they're excited about what you're doing. And it's those little small successes. It's those milestones, right? When you should be able to tell your team, our goal is to do this and then do this. Our goal is to do that and then do that. Same thing what you said with the investor. They see the incremental growth and they can want to be a part of what you're doing.
Right. That's actually huge. That those small successes, like that's motivation, like one-on-one. You have to have those small successes on the way to the big vision, because big vision is so enormous and it's such a marathon to get there that there's going to be you need some checkpoints to kind of recoup as far as your energy wise. And if I could add a little something to that, when it comes to the artist, right? The artist, you're working with this team. And at the beginning, you're going to have a lot of people who are involved in multiple things, right? They're not going to be so many specialized areas. So a lot of times you have to be able to be self-aware, but also good at analyzing other people. Hopefully everyone on the team is pretty self-aware. But if you might see an area that they're lazy in, they're probably just not good at it. A lot of times, lack of understanding is where laziness comes from. They don't really understand what's so important about it or how to do it. So they just keep veering back to what they're really good at because people love and thrive on those pockets. So as I've developed certain teams, it might be the first time around, I'm like, everybody do this. Like everybody's onto the marketing, or everybody try this. And then the next time around, I could see, all right, well, we just need to let these people hold on to the marketing and let these people thrive here, because they're not going to be reliable on that portion, but the things they're really good at, you can get them to do and they'll be fanatical about it.
No, that makes perfect sense. I think that's something that I even missed that I definitely notice all the time, that sometimes you're working with people and they will get lazy or they will not accomplish tasks. Sometimes it's not laziness. Sometimes it's just, like you said, they don't want to do it. They're not good at it. They're embarrassed. They're uncomfortable. And so putting people in the right roles is important. Next question that also came from Act Right. Gonna throw it on the screen real quick. It says, what are the best ways to find folks who are passionate about the business? So I'm assuming you mean, where do you go? I'm assuming is how that needs to be best answered. Where do you go to find these guys? How do you find the best people? Where do you go?
Whew. That's kind of loaded in my opinion. There's so many ways you can look at that. I don't know like where you are. Geographically,
San Diego.
Okay. In San Diego. If you're in high school, hopefully there might be some young people around you that are kind of motivated to be a part of the business. They want to be, but they don't want to be an artist. College, it's a similar thing. So those have that fortune of being like hubs of a lot of people and building relationships. But then otherwise, if you're kind of just already out in those worlds post-college, you're going to have to go to, unfortunately, some of those club scenes that can be a little bit harder. But when you go, what I do is not just, and I don't mean just club scenes, but certain events, you can ask who's putting on this event, right? You go to an event and you find out who's putting on this event. You find that person. If they made something happen that you like, they're obviously going to know a lot of those people that are involved. Chop it up, build a relationship with that person because they'll be connected. And that goes with any artist, any product that you see and you like the outcome of the product, figure out who's responsible for it, or figure out who's the team behind it, pieces of that team, and try your best to get in contact with those people and go from there. And a lot of times it's very helpful to just come from a strictly advisory standpoint. Like, what is your advice on that? This is what I'm working on. Is there anybody, even if that person has the ability and they're what you want, ask them, is there anybody I could reach out to that will be able to offer me that? So then they might have someone that might have more time on their hands that has the competency, because you know the quality standards there because you like their product, and they might be able to refer you to somebody. And once you have a referral type relationship, it's a lot more likely to get something good out of that situation.
Right. I definitely would agree with that. It's about, I think what you pointed out about going to the club owner and trying to get the information out of this person, because it works. Networking is the same in every space. Like, it's the same as marketing. Yes. In a sense. If you put your song on a radio that's A quality, like on an A market radio station, right, it's going to get picked up by smaller radio stations. Just immediately. If you go to a lower tier, it's going to get picked up by the tiers beneath that. So if you go to the head of something that's creative, something that's, hip hop focused or rock focused or whatever your genre is, if you're at an event that's based upon your genre, and the people behind the scenes that are running that event get the opportunity to meet you, or you get the opportunity to meet them, then plugging in with these people and finding out all the auxiliary things that are happening underneath them is a good way to meet people. Another way to do that is just to align yourself with events. Like the whole part of the underground, people say they're underground, they're on a come up, they're on a grind. What that is you actually being in the culture, in the space with other people that are doing that, right? So I'm doing Phase 6 right now. Brandman Sean does Brandman on his show, right? I didn't reach out to him on YouTube, right? I ran into him in the streets because we're both actively working in the Atlanta scene, making things happen. Yep. Now, another thing that I talk about all the time is be a student of the game. He was just another face in an environment where there were thousands of people out there that night. Hundreds or thousands of people out there at this art event that we went to, right? And the reason I'm able to approach this guy is because I've seen his face. I'm studying the game. I know what people look like. A lot of times we know all these celebrities' names or people behind the scenes' names. You might, are you going on Wikipedia and seeing who produced what album, who wrote what, who did what? Do you go on Facebook, LinkedIn, and try to figure out what they look like? So other than that, B-Man, do you got anything else to say? Yeah, man, just the fact that you guys can follow me at Brandman Sean on YouTube. You type in Brand, B-R-A-N-D, Sean, S-E-A, man, and then Sean, S-E-A-N on YouTube. I should pop right up. Got a lot of videos and content. Y'all can go ahead and check that out. Other than that, man, you can just hit me up in the comments or on my Instagram, which is SeanTaylor.im. Ask me any questions and I'll be happy to answer. Right, and we're going to put all that information in the description below, as well as it's probably already on the screen for you guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, both of us are going to be replying underneath this thread. For sure. So, put them below. We can answer as many questions as we can. If you guys have anything, maybe it might turn out to, another video that has to be done about the topic. But we're here as resources for you guys. This guy has an amazing channel, and he's a resource for marketing, your marketing needs to help get you guys out there as an artist. As you know, I'm your source for music, business, motivation, and support. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little and a little about a lot. And every time I jump in front of this camera, I'm trying to give you guys everything that I got, and now sharing this stage with someone else is giving you what they got too. Stay tuned, Phase 6. Thank you. Like, subscribe, check us out. I appreciate you guys. Now, come on to Phase 6. If you need some marketing motivation, you can learn to transform your life and build your own empire. With Sirr Love. Real talk, no chase. Real talk, no chase. Real talk, no chase. Real talk, I said real talk. I said real talk, no chase. Real talk, no chase. Real talk, no chase. With Sirr Love.